Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
In the Pitch Magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And boy, do I have some things to complain about today. There are times where I think I understand the National Football League and how they handle business and how they go about things. And then they usually make an announcement. They usually do things that suggest, no, in fact, I don't know anything about the National Football League and how they think. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. Today, we're going to be joined by Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. We'll talk to him about the news regarding Rashee Rice, so we'll get his thoughts on things regarding the news that we have today. We also are going to be joined by Alli Sentinor. She plays for KC Current. They have a very important game this weekend against Orlando here in Kansas City, and we want to have a player on from their team. All right, there is a lot to get into in today's show, and boy, I can't wait to get into it. But before we do that, let me remind you of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day on 96.5 The Fan. I also need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell two people to check out the show, but you know what? If you could just tell one person, hey, there's this radio show that I really like on 96.5 The Fan that starts at 2 o'clock, you know what? I would greatly appreciate that. And number three, I need you to remember that the open of the show is now brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place, with 5 metro locations serving great pizza for over 25 years right here in Kansas City. Be sure to stop by and check out The Other Place, or stop by the website, theotherplace.com. This is where I want to stand on my soapbox because I cannot believe the National Football League. So we got information earlier today regarding Rashee Rice. I got a text, hey, did you hear about Rashee Rice? And I'm expecting that we have finally figured out what his suspension is going to be in all of this. But nope, that's not what it is. From Adam Schefter, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is expected to have his disciplinary hearing with the NFL on September 30th in New York. I'm sitting there thinking, wait, hold on. What's the date? I had to pull out my phone because I was a little confused. I was like, wait, hold on. It's August 14th. And they can't talk to Rashee Rice until September 30th? This doesn't make any sense. We were talking about the Jordan Addison suspension a couple of weeks ago. This happened on August 5th that Jordan Addison was suspended. Well, why does that matter? Because the Jordan Addison suspension, the court case was the exact same day that the Rashee Rice court case ended. Jordan Addison and Rashee Rice both had their legal issue resolved on July 17th. You're telling me that the NFL couldn't find one day over a 2-month stretch to sit down and talk to one of its players. Now, what does this mean? Well, according to Adam Schefter, this means that Rice is now likely able to play for the first 4 weeks of the season before any potential discipline is imposed for his role in the multi-car crash in Dallas before the start of last season. Now, it is important to note who is going to be the person that is going to proceed over this. The person that is going to proceed over this is Sue L. Robinson. She is a former U.S. district judge. You guys might know that name. The other disciplinary case that she was involved with was Deshaun Watson's. Now, I'm not saying this is as serious or Deshaun Watson's or you shouldn't take it seriously. I just want you to know that the NFL is obviously taking this very seriously. If you have the same person who ruled on Deshaun Watson rule on this case, that is something to keep in mind. I just don't understand how this can't be wrapped up in a timely fashion. This incident happened last Easter, not this most recent Easter, not the one in 2025. It happened in 2024. You then had a year and change in the legal system. The legal system has now run its course. We know what the legal ramifications are for Rashee Rice. This was resolved in the middle of July. How difficult is it to find Sue L. Robinson's schedule, find Rashee Rice's schedule, Find a day that both of them are free and they can sit down and can communicate with each other. They have a conversation. Sue L. Robinson goes back to the National Football League with her findings, with her feelings, and we can all figure out what the suspension is for the Kansas City Chiefs. How does this continue to be a cloud that hangs over the Chiefs? It makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm not asking for the Chiefs to get preferential or special treatment. I don't think that's necessary here. But I do think asking this to be wrapped up in an expeditious fashion and also having more clarity about your number one wide receiver's availability is very, very important. It doesn't make any sense to me how we are going into the season and it's like, oh, well, let's just find an open Tuesday. Well, this is a good Tuesday. And now why don't we sit down with the number one wide receiver on the three-time defending AFC champions? Am I being unreasonable? Text line 913-586-7965. I don't feel like what I'm asking for is unreasonable. How is it not possible for the National Football League to find any time in the month of August to sit down and talk to a receiver who has had a legal issue that dates back to April of 2024? Am I crazy in thinking that the NFL needs to implement a very, very simple thing? They need to have a group of people, some great legal minds. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company that the NFL is. How hard is it for you to have 5 legal minds on retainer, and their one job is to review these kinds of situations? It's not like there's a shortage of them in the National Football League. Somebody is always getting in trouble in the National Football League. Whether it's Jordan Addison, who was passed out in a Rolls Royce and was impeding traffic, whether it was Rashee Rice, who was playing Fast and the Furious on a highway, whether it was Shedeur Sanders, who has gotten 2 speeding tickets this offseason, Myles Garrett, who got a speeding ticket this offseason, how difficult is it to have 5 people that their only job is NFL disciplinary actions? And when something like this happens, you call up these 5 people and say, hey, we need you to come in. We need you to work together with the agent for said player and bring them in, and we need to talk about them, and then we'll give our findings, and then we'll go communicate that to the commissioner of the National Football League and tell them what suspension we think is appropriate so we can get this wrapped up so everybody can move forward. But no, we don't get to do this. Instead, it'll be week 5 of the NFL season, and we'll have to take a break in the middle of the season when we should be talking about what the Chiefs need to do to handle this or do this. We'll have to spend time talking about their ruling when you shouldn't have to do this. NFL teams talk to me about distractions. The biggest distraction is the people who run the National Football League. This is unacceptable, especially for an organization that has done just about everything that the NFL has asked them to do. You need a team to play on Thanksgiving? The Chiefs are there. You need a team to play on Christmas? The Chiefs have been there. How about a Black Friday game? Kansas City's been there. How about a city to host the NFL draft? The Chiefs did that. How about your marquee game, the Super Bowl? The Chiefs have been there, been great ambassadors for the National Football League. They need you to do one thing, find some time to schedule with their number one wide receiver so we can put this silly mess behind us, and you can't do it for 75 days after the court ruling? This is unacceptable. There's really no other way to put it. Maybe you guys think that I'm blowing this out of proportion, and that's perfectly fine. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. 913-586-7965. But you cannot explain to me how a court case can end on July 17th and the NFL cannot find any time until September 30th to talk to the number one receiver on the best team in the league. You got to explain to me why it takes so long for this to happen. And then in the middle of the season, we have to then stop and have a conversation about the number of games that he's going to miss when you just could have got this done from the very, very beginning. Now we're going to continue to have this. It's going to be 3 games, it's going to be 4 games, it's going to be 5 games. Why couldn't we just have the answer now and we all can move forward with the rest of our life? We can take you guys' phone calls on this if you want to chime in. I'll read your text if you want to chime in. We'll also talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on the New Heights podcast. I got a lot of thoughts about that as well. Keep it locked in right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Smokehouse Barbecue has always been our choice when it comes to barbecue in Kansas City. We love everything about Smokehouse Barbecue. And now Smokehouse has street tacos, their newest menu item. 3 flour tortillas, chopped burnt ends and smoked sausage, plus corn elote and Cajun sour cream and a side. And now, every Tuesday, kids eat for $1.99 with the purchase of an adult entree. So visit Smokehouse Barbecue in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, and at SmokehouseBBQ.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Kansas City. And our more than 30 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too if you hurt or even kill them in a crash. Instead, what if a decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can, and they did. Smell like Suntal and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Tides and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to play some audio for you guys. This is from Nate Taylor. We are talking about the news regarding Rashee Rice. Now, Rashee Rice, I believe, is going to be suspended at some point. I don't understand why the league couldn't just have this meeting earlier as opposed to later and not put a cloud over the middle of the season of what's going to potentially happen. Nate Taylor, who obviously we like and trust, he works for ESPN. He's a regular on this show. He is saying that this is what the Chiefs wanted. This is what Rashee Rice wanted. He wants to get on the field as early, as soon as possible. Here's what Nate Taylor said earlier on Cody and Gold.
This is what Rasheed Rice wanted.
Okay.
Is the way I'm reading this based on all the conversations I had. And again, I think the Players Union is trying its best, given their situation.
Yeah, no kidding.
Trying their best to do right by a client where, hey, now the question, okay, we know he's going to be there on September, right? For all the games September. Hey, 4 games, I think the Chiefs are thrilled with this development. Obviously, this is what Rashee Rice wanted.
This is what I don't understand about this process. I guess maybe it's twofold that I don't understand. Number one, I don't understand how the player can then dictate when a suspension could possibly happen. Like, that part just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't care what you want. It's time for us to meet. It's time to sit down, and it's time to get this done. And I understand wanting to play in the first 4 games of the season, right? Like, I get it. Like, you want to get out there. You want to compete. You want to be on the field. You want to be there. Like, that part all makes sense to me, right? But, so let's say that in this sense, let's just say Rashee Rice misses 4 games, right? Just say that he misses 4 games. So let's say that he doesn't play for the first 4 games of the season. They're kind of important games. They play the Chargers, a team in their division, home against Philadelphia, a team they lost to in the Super Bowl, on the road against the Giants. That's their home opener. They've also got a pretty decent pass rush, and Baltimore. I don't really know if there's a really good 4 or 5 game stretch throughout the course of the Chiefs season. Now, maybe this is just my opinion. I don't think there's any chance the NFL is letting Rashee Rice play in the Baltimore and Buffalo game. Like, a suspension has to hurt. And not just you, it has to hurt your team. There is no question those are the 2 most important games this season for the Kansas City Chiefs. The other 2 contending teams in the AFC West, or in the AFC, excuse me. So, yes, the NFL, just by when the talk is going to be, is going to let them play in the Baltimore game. I don't think there's any chance they let them also play in the Buffalo game. So, I mean, you're going to miss an important game anyway if you're Rashee Rice, right? Like, based on, we all think a suspension is going to happen at some point. I just don't see a scenario in which you were talking to the same person that gave the suspension down for Deshaun Watson. You think you're going to talk to that person. You got jail time coming up. You're on probation, and you think that you're getting 0 games. So why not just get it over with? Just get it over with. Miss the first 3-4 games of the season. Sure, it stinks. It's not ideal, but you get back week 5, week 6. You get a chance to play against the Lions. You get a chance to get going, and you're there for the Buffalo game. Like, if you're asking me right now, what is the more important game to play in? To me, it's much more important to play on the road against Buffalo than the home game against Baltimore. I think that's their most difficult game of the season. I know the Chiefs usually beat Buffalo in the postseason. They haven't always in the regular season. That game is in the road, and Buffalo this season plays both Kansas City and Baltimore at home. That is a significant advantage if you're the Buffalo Bills. So if you're asking me if I could just pick one, is it more important for Rashee Rice to play in week 4 against Baltimore or in week 9 against the Buffalo Bills? I would say the Buffalo game. So I don't know why you would want this. I would just want to go ahead and get it out of the way and start to ramp up as I'm ready for the most important game of the season. I just find it hard to believe that the NFL is going to let him play in both of those games. I don't think that then the suspension just doesn't hold a lot of weight to me. I think the 3 most important games for the Chiefs are in the early part of the season. I guess maybe 4. If you want to include the game against the Chargers, that is at a neutral site that would have been a road game, but now it's a neutral site game. I mean, there are 4 most important games this year. You would probably say are the game against the Chargers in Brazil, the home game against Baltimore. You probably would argue it's the game against Detroit or Philadelphia, depending on how you feel about that. The 2 best teams in the NFC, and then the game against Buffalo. There's a chance that he could quite possibly play for all of those games, depending on how you rank it. I just don't see what the value of the suspension is. I'd rather just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. You got to take your medicine at some point. Let's just take it to begin the start of the season. Let's move on.
I understand what you're saying, and I think it's a common sentiment among Chiefs fans. Like, I would have much preferred 4 to 6 right off the jump. You can prepare better, you can roster build better, all the things. I would tell you, though, and as you laid out the schedule, I would argue with you outside of the Buffalo game. The hardest stretch the Chiefs have is the first 4 games of the season. So I know it sucks to happen in week 5, 6, 7, the suspension come down and the unknown and all these things. I get all that. But me and you see it a little differently. I don't think this happening in the middle of the season is all that bad. I know all reports out of camp are good with Rashee Rice, but he did have a major injury last year. Let's see him on the football field early in the season and get him reacclimated to the offense. Let's make sure the Chiefs offense is at, full operating power in the first 4 games when you have to play Baltimore, when you have to play a division rival in the Chargers. I know, and the Eagles Super Bowl, rematch. Like, I understand why fans dislike the timeline for the suspension, but I don't think this is all that bad for the Chiefs. Yeah, it's hinky and it's, annoying to have to deal with, but it's coming. I'd rather hit the ground running, come out of the gate 3-1, 4-0, and then, he misses Detroit. Who cares he misses Detroit? Playing San Diego. LA is far more important to me. I don't think this is the worst thing for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and again, this is just my opinion. Because, from the beginning, I said I thought that 3 was the floor, and I thought that 5 was the ceiling of what he could possibly get. I don't know how if you're the league. Like, if you are buying what Nate Taylor is saying, and I'm not saying I'm not buying it. If you were saying this is what the Chiefs wanted, this is what the Chiefs would have preferred, this is what Rashee would have preferred, let me play the first 4 games of the season, and then we can sit there and talk. I don't know how you can give him a 3-game suspension and tell me that's a real suspension. I don't know how you can do that. Wait, I let them play in all of the important September games. They play a game in Brazil that's going to be exclusively through YouTube and YouTube TV. They play in the 325 game on Fox, a Super Bowl rematch. They play on the 325 game against Baltimore. The 3 games he's going to miss are Jacksonville, Detroit, and a home game against the Raiders. And then we'll give him a week to get ready for the Buffalo game. Why did you suspend him at all then, if that's the case? This was a waste of everybody's time. If he ends up getting a 3-game suspension and it's weeks 5, 6, and 7, they wasted everybody's time. He should have never been suspended then from the beginning. You let him pick when the suspension was. You then picked, I would say, a pretty good spot for the team. I think that's the spot you would pick. Like, if you were telling me that you get a 3-game suspension, like, let's say, like, when you and I were joking about if you had to do 30 days in jail, if you let me pick the 30 days, well, yeah, I'm going to look at my schedule and when I think it's convenient, and then I'm going to pick it. Because there's some 30 days that I wouldn't pick. If you could pick any 3-game stretch in the Chiefs season for you to miss, that's the stretch you would pick. Jacksonville, Detroit, and Vegas. You wouldn't pick later, and you're certainly not picking 3 games in December when you're getting ready for a playoff push. I mean, that's probably the perfect spot that you would do it. I'm not in the business of being tough on crime, and this is a very serious thing, and then I'm going to give you the most advantageous suspension that you could possibly ask for. That's why the part of it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I want to play this for you. This is what Nate Taylor had to say, a 4-game versus a 6-game suspension. This is Nate Taylor on with Cody and Gold.
I think the NFL will have its case ready to go, you would assume, by September 30th.
I hope so.
And if you're the Chiefs, you're like, hey, I just looked at the calendar, fellas. It's very easy for anybody to do. I just wrote this for ESPN.com alongside Adam Schefter. If everything goes the way the Chiefs want, Rashee Rice will get a 4-game suspension, which means he would be eligible to return on November 2nd against the Buffalo Bills right before their bye week. The NFL, if they say it's 6 games, that means you're going to have to miss all that time, the bye week, the next game, and then you come back in the middle of November, which obviously means you're going to have a little bit less of a run-up to get Rashee Rice ready to go for postseason time, we all assume.
Yeah, I'm going to move my window just a little bit. I think we're talking at this point, just with the information we have, I would be surprised if he played in the game against Buffalo. I think it's a 5-game suspension. I think it's a 5-game suspension, and then he'll be allowed to come back after the bye week. They play the road game against Denver on November 16th. I think it's a 5-game suspension. I see people on the text line saying that suspensions are not meant to hurt the team, but by definition, you're taking an important player off of the team for disciplinary reasons. So it kind of is. I'm with you. It's meant to hurt the player and hurt his pockets. It also hurts your team if that's the case. So, I mean, in a roundabout way, it kind of just hurts everybody. You're taking the number one skill position player off the team. Rashee Rice was cooking last year in those first early games. And now we're just going to take that guy out of the offense for week 5, week 6, week 7, and the rest of it. I would find it very difficult to believe that it's not going to at least be a 5-game suspension now, because I think that's the only way that the suspension really hurts if that's the case. I think if this ends up being a 3-game suspension, if you're the Chiefs, I think you are always doing backflips. You are doing, Simone Biles level gymnastics. If you were telling me it's a 3-game suspension and then he misses Jacksonville, Detroit, and Las Vegas at home. Sure, that game against the Lions is big. It's a Sunday night football game. It doesn't matter if the Chiefs beat the Lions. They're in the NFC. There's no tiebreaker involved in that. There's just a good, fun football game that we're all looking forward to seeing 2 of the top 5 teams in the National Football League. You can definitely beat Jacksonville without him, and you got a home game against the Raiders at noon. Those are not bad, especially if you're telling me you get them back for Monday Night Football against the Commanders. A lot of people think the Commanders will be good this season, and you get them back for the biggest regular season game of the year for you, a road game against Buffalo in early November. I think we're talking about a 5 or 6-game suspension if now you were telling me this is going to happen in the middle of the season, because I think it has to sting a little bit for everybody. Missing Buffalo is the only way that this will sting.
I've always felt 4 to 6 is the window, and now hearing what Nate Taylor said, it does feel like that's the window. I think we can kind of throw 3 out. But he's right. I think if the suspension happens, I forget who the game is, the 28th. I believe it's the Ravens. He plays the Ravens, and then meets the NFL, and they say 4 games. The Chiefs should have a parade. That worked out perfect. And listen, I'm not tinfoil hat guy. I'm not conspiracy theorist guy. But if you're another NFL fan base and Rasheed Rice played the first 4 and then only gets suspended 4 games, you would be frustrated. So I do think you're right. I think that to make a suspension that hurts, which makes me think 5 to 6. He's A, missing the Bills game, or B, he's missing the Bills and Broncos games back to back. Like, that's what we're talking about at this point. It's no longer, the first 3 versus the first 5. It's, does he miss the Bills game, or does he miss the Bills and the Broncos game? Because it is going to be 4 to 6. That is now the window we can operate in for what is happening to Rashee Rice.
Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by Alli Sentinor. She plays for the KC Current. They have a very important game this weekend against Orlando right here in Kansas City. So we'll catch up with the KC Current. We'll catch up with Alli Sentinor coming up in just a bit. Really excited to talk to her and learn a little bit more about her, and also get you guys ready for the Current game this weekend. I'm sure by now you know this, but Taylor Swift, she was on the New Heights podcast. And you know what? Taylor Swift, she might know ball.
So that I became like a person who was running through the halls of my house screaming, "We drafted Xavier Worthy!" And my friends are like, who body snatched you? What do you mean we drafted Xavier Worthy?
I forget where I was, but you were the first person to tell me that we drafted the fastest man in the draft.
No, I was screeching. I couldn't believe it. I was freaking out. We're talking about like,
either. I'm like, wait, is she right? I had to look this up. I'm like, did she get the wrong information here? But yeah, we traded up.
Yeah, we're talking about cover 2, cover 4, cover 0, man cover. We're talking. We're learning. I continue to learn.
Maybe somebody else that even knows what those coverages are.
Yeah, I'm not ready to be an analyst right now. But give me 16 months.
Let me give you my thoughts on Taylor Swift's appearance on New Heights. As somebody who interviews a lot of people, we got an interview coming up in an hour or so. Good interviews usually stem from 2 things that were very, very clear here in this interview. Number 1, it's the person's willingness to talk. Sometimes you can ask the best question in the world, but if the person doesn't really have an interest in answering the question or going deep into the answer of it, your question doesn't really matter a whole lot. A lot of times you guys always talk about how the media doesn't hold players, coaches, or things accountable. A lot of times, I don't think you guys are really listening to the question. They asked what you wanted. The person answering the question just didn't give a really good answer. So the person's willingness to answer the question really matters. It was very obvious watching this interview that Taylor Swift was there to talk. She was there to answer questions. I want to answer questions about my masters. I want to go really deep into this thing that really matters to me. I want to talk to you guys about my father and his health issues. I want to talk to you guys about my journey of becoming an NFL fan. If the person you are asking the questions to wants to talk, it will always be a great interview. I think the other thing that is also really, really important in these interviews, and you guys see this, is the relationship that you have with the person you are asking the questions to. It was clear in the first 30 seconds of watching this thing. Oh, these three people all really like one another. Obviously, the two of them are related to each other. They're brothers, Jason and Travis, and we know about their relationship and how close they are. It is then very obvious that Taylor and Travis have a genuine love and appreciation for the other person that goes beyond romantic feelings. I appreciate your hard work and what you do in your field because I've seen it. I've been to your concert and I've seen the amount of work that you put in behind the scenes to be the absolute best and biggest musician in the world. Well, I've seen how hard you train and how hard you prepare to go out and be the greatest tight end that the NFL has ever seen. Like, you could tell by the way that these two people talk to each other and about one another that they have a mutual love and respect for the other person. It is also obvious that they both really love Jason, and Jason is a part of their family in an actual sense, but also in like a relative sense of, hey, I really love this person. I'm around this person. We've gone to dinners together. We've gone on vacations together. I know your family. You know my family. That is the thing that jumped out to me the most. I don't really care a whole lot about the answers to this thing. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. If you're a Swiftie, that's great. But I don't plan on listening to her new album. I listened to the last one. I got a great streak going when it comes to that, and I imagine that streak will stay intact. But the interview wasn't for me. I'm not a Swiftie. If you're a Swiftie or you're somebody that's really interested in Taylor Swift's life, that interview was everything you wanted it to be. It was clear she was comfortable. She was having fun. She was a part of their world. And I think if you're a fan of that podcast, if you're a fan of him, her, them as a brother duo, that's all you ever wanted. From the moment they got together, hey, when is she going to go on their podcast? Their podcast is about friendship and brotherhood and celebrating these things. You are in a relationship with the most famous woman in the world. We want her to come on and tell her stories. And she went on there and did it for an hour and 40 minutes yesterday. It was great. It was really enjoyable. As somebody who just, I'm a casual. I'm just sitting back. I'm listening to it. I'm listening to the stories. I'm just, hey, this is a really good interview. She came here ready to talk. She understood the assignment. And it is obvious that these are three people that all love each other. And when you have that combination, it is impossible to not have a good interview. And it was a good interview. It was a very entertaining interview watching them talk. Here is Travis Kelce talking about how Taylor Swift went through the general admission gate for their first game.
The first game she went to, the Bears game, she literally went through the front door of the stadium.
Yeah, we walked right in.
Just right in, like general admission?
Through general admission, through with everybody on the bus to the game.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh, she's just in it. Yeah. She's down for the ride. She's here for the fun.
Now, I ain't ready to call Taylor Swift no liar. But y'all believe that? Rob, you believe that Taylor Swift walked through the regular general admission? You believe that? That entrance? We all know the one that I'm talking about. We've all been to a Chiefs game before. You know, that long line where you're trying to like finish your beer real quick. Maybe they're talking about a different general admission entrance than I'm thinking of. But you know, you've been tailgating. You got that Bud Light in your hand. You got that Miller Lite. You're trying to drink it as fast as you can. Your friend is screaming the tomahawk chop in your ear. And you're just trying to hurry up. You're trying to get through your phone and get everything out and get. We think Taylor Swift walked through that line? I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I just don't believe the most famous person in the world just walked in the regular entrance. I think they got a special entrance. Maybe she didn't walk in the super top secret entrance. I just don't think she was walking in the same line that you and I will walk to. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I can't get myself there. she did come off as like everybody else. Hey, I'm not coming here to ask for any special treatment. Hey, put me in the suite. Hey, y'all got good drinks here. You got the chicken tenders. Hey, I just want to be a regular fan. I'm just not buying she walked in the same gate that we're walking through. I can't get myself to that point.
So I agree with you. I don't think she was standing in line at one of the spirals. I don't think she was standing there watching people go up the spiral with a Bud Light in hand or whatever her drink of choice is and just was waiting for people to go in. I think she was at like the suite entrance though. Like, you know those two entrances? There's the one over by it's over by the little pavilion area, and then there's the one over by Kaufman. There's those two entrances where if you have a suite, people who are, highfalutin Chiefs fans know there are special entrances where you can just walk in, you go up an elevator, and you get your suite. I think she may have been in one of those lines. I don't think she walked down the tunnel. You know the Aaron Ladd video we got each week of her walking down the tunnel like she was one of the players? I don't think she did that. I think she was waiting with the other rich people, though, in the suite line. I think if you work at T-Mobile and you have a suite at Arrowhead and you were waiting to go in, you may have walked right past her that day. But she wasn't standing in front of the Hy-Vee gate at the spiral. She wasn't doing that.
Yeah, I'm guessing. This is just from going to air. I'm guessing she walked in where the media people walk in.
That's my guess as well.
That's what I'm thinking. I think she walked in that side entrance. I don't know.
People in suites walk in that entrance all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe she didn't walk in like the regular one. Maybe that's the one that she walked in. Somebody said CDOT. She also said in that clip that she had a hood or a hat on, probably sunglasses too. If Taylor Swift or anybody like super famous, right? But this is like the most famous person. The moment one person asks, are you Taylor Swift? And then everybody looks around and then sees that person is Taylor Swift, a mob happens. She can't walk in that regular entrance. And that's fine. I know she's just like us. Yeah, she is. If someone says, hey, is Rob at the game? A mob is not happening. No one cares. One person might say, oh, hey, I love this show. She can't walk through that entrance. But hey, it is obvious that she likes coming to Chiefs games, that she has a lot of fun. It's also very clear to me, and this is, I think, really important. She feels very comfortable at Chiefs games. One thing that I do think has been very cool, and I don't think it matters if you are a Swiftie or not a Swiftie, a big Taylor Swift fan or not. I think it's been really cool how she has embraced the city in a lot of ways. I mean, she's going to eat at the restaurants that you and I go to eat to. She's going to eat at Rye on the Plaza. Like, she's going to eat at Paropo's. These are places that, Rob, you and I have eaten at before. Together, we've gone to eat at these places. She went to Children's Mercy Hospital and she showed up with her and her bodyguards. That was it. Travis wasn't there. This wasn't an official thing. Hey, I want to spend my time here with you guys. Didn't make it a big deal. Didn't alert the news. I just want to be here. So, even though I'm not a Swiftie, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, it's just not my kind of music. I got love for anybody that shows love to where we're from, where we grew up, our hometown. And it is very, very clear that Taylor likes Travis. It's also very clear that she likes being here in Kansas City and doing the things that you and I have grown up doing. We grew up going to Chiefs games. We grew up going to some of these restaurants. I bet you Taylor has a favorite barbecue restaurant in town. No, they didn't ask her that, but you can't be in Kansas City as often as she's been in Kansas City and you don't got a favorite one. Somebody has given Taylor Swift some burn-ins from some of these places. So that part to me is just really, really cool. One more cut I want to play for you guys. This is where Rob went crazy. Taylor Swift has a new album. He can't wait.
So I wanted to show you something.
Okay. What do we got?
We got
a briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
TS12!
Yeah.
Rob, how excited are you for this new album, brother? I mean, I know you're excited. Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift album?
I do not have a favorite Taylor Swift album. Just because I like Taylor Swift music more than you does not mean I'm some sort of Swiftie. No one confuse me for a Swiftie.
Okay, I don't know. I don't do a lot of Swiftie energy, and that's cool if you're a Swiftie.
I can just name more songs than you. That does not mean I'm living and dying by TS12.
I don't know if you can actually name more songs than me. I think I know
It'd be
more.
Close.
Yeah,
It'd
I think I know
close.
more Taylor Swift songs than you know. I just don't know. The thing is, I don't know any deep cuts of Taylor Swift.
I'm in trouble.
She has a lot of A-side records. Yeah, I've heard Anti-Hero and all those songs. But
Shake It Off, yeah.
Yeah, but you start playing the deep cuts, the B-sides. No, I ain't never heard those songs before. I don't want to hear those songs before.
I don't think I could do that much. I don't have a favorite era. I learned this week because apparently the Union Station lit up orange. Is orange her favorite color? Is that a thing? I learned her favorite numbers. Like, I learned more in this podcast than I knew before. And you know what? She is like us, but I still wouldn't define myself as a Swiftie. I'm not going to her concert. I'm not going to cry. Those are things that are not happening.
Do you have a favorite era of Taylor Swift?
This one?
That's what my answer is.
Ever since she started coming to Chiefs games, my job has changed enormously in that timeline. So that one.
That's what my answer is. I can't speak of any other era. She seems very happy in this one. Her Kansas City era. That's my favorite one. Coming up in about 30 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. Coming up on the other side, Alli Sentinor. She plays on KC Current. She joins us. They got a big game this weekend. Keep it locked in right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for every single football fan. It's 24 hours of deals, and you know I love a deal, on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think is going to win MVP. Take a flyer on who you think is going to win the championship this year, and you can parlay your division dark horse candidates. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. You guys always tell me what you think. This time, put your money where your mouth is. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. So if you like Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, this is the time to take him. Or if you think the Chiefs are heading back to the big game, August 28th is a day for you. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. It's KansasGamblingHelp.com.
Chiefs Kingdom, are we ready to play? It's time for the Chiefs Kingdom scratch ticket, only from the Kansas Lottery. You could win up to $75,000 instantly, with even more ways to win exclusive, one-of-a-kind Kansas City Chiefs experiences through the Play On app. Play the Kansas Lottery Chiefs Kingdom scratch ticket today. See KSLottery.com for details.
Back to school means back with friends. And Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need for the new year for less. Shop the latest styles from brands like Nike, Jordan, Wilson, Carhartt, and Birkenstock. Plus, check out our game-changing selection of backpacks. Save even more on the latest deals each week. Stop by your local store or shop academy.com. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats. Home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money. So you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. It's week 2 of the preseason, which means we'll likely see more starters getting game action as we inch closer to the season opener. All eyes will be on the two New York teams as they face off in East Rutherford. Both franchises boast new quarterback play and a revamped offensive attack. While it's a make-or-break year for the Stars under center, defensive line play could carry the day and potentially the season. No one likes having to choose. That's why with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid with America's best warranty, or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe Hybrid with the power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but you know, better. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. America's best warranty claim based on total package of warranty programs. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 89.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Oh, we got a lot of quarterback news to get into coming up at the top of the hour. Bill Simmons had a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen tape. Nick Wright, friend of the show, has since responded to that take. And also our dear brother Danny Parkins is lost. We'll get to all of that coming up at the top of the hour. But before we do that, earlier today I got a chance to catch up with Alli Sentinor. She plays on KC Current. They have a very important game this weekend against the Orlando Pride. You can catch that right here in Kansas City at CPKC Stadium. That game is Saturday at 3 o'clock. I believe that game is going to be on CBS. So be sure to check out the home team, KC Current. They are first place in their division. They're going up against second place in their division against the Orlando Pride. My conversation with Alli Sentinor started with, has she seen the Taylor Swift interview on the New Heights podcast?
It is on my plans for tonight. I'm so excited to watch.
We try to learn more about athletes, so we try not to ask them questions about their sports. Your parents were in town. Did you guys go barbecue? What kind of food did you take them to?
We just went to dinner in the plaza area, and it was very good, but we are excited for some barbecue, maybe some steak tonight.
Okay, so let's say that you're going out to eat, and you can get the best version of this kind of food. So the best Mexican, the best Chinese food, the best version of that food. What kind of restaurant would you pick?
For me, it's going to be Italian or steak.
Right now, we're joined by Alli Sentinor. She plays with the Kansas City Current. You mentioned steak. How are you usually getting your steak cooked?
Medium and with some mashed potatoes and green beans.
All right, I was just going to ask you what kind of sides you get, because I won't usually say this, but the sides that you get with the steak are equally just as important to kind of make everything complete.
For sure. It's a whole meal. You got to get the whole meal right.
What's the food that if you could tell 12-year-old you that you're really into, you'd be surprised? Like for me, it's onions and peppers. Like I hate onions. I don't want anything to do with onions. Now I can't go without them. What's the food that you could tell 12-year-old you, hey, you're going to like someday?
Honestly, I think it's avocados. I never really thought about avocados when I was younger, but now I feel like I eat them with everything.
There's actually this whole campaign right now with Chipotle that I want to get your opinion on. That they were saying is there's like 1,000 different combinations what you can get, but there's only one perfect order of Chipotle, and it's your order of Chipotle. And then I was really thinking about it. It is kind of one of the few places, like, I don't know what your Chipotle order is. You can tell me what it is. But, like, I might hate your order and you might hate my order. But to us, it's absolutely perfect, and that makes Chipotle the best. There really isn't another restaurant like that.
Yes, I agree. I think everyone's to their own. You know, I love Cava, though, too. I think that one's up there for me with Chipotle, maybe even above.
What bowl do you get from Chipotle? Or, like, what's your Chipotle order?
I do a little brown rice, chicken, guac and cheese, veggies, and a little lettuce.
I feel like everybody's so particular about Chipotle. So, like, for me, I refuse to order it on the app. They never get it right if you go in the app. Like, I got to go in there. I gotta watch you. I got to see you make the bowl so then I can kind of critique the bowl and make sure we get it right. I feel like everybody's really particular about Chipotle.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you mess up someone's Chipotle order, it, like, could ruin their night.
It absolutely could. Right now, we're joined by Alli Sentinor for a couple of more minutes here. So I take it based on what you said earlier that you are a Taylor Swift fan. What is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. I actually just had this debate with one of my former teammates recently, and we were trying to pick our top 3 Taylor Swift songs, and it was like nearly impossible because we like too many of her songs.
What was the first concert you went to? What was the most recent concert that you've been to?
Okay, my mom used to get Taylor Swift tickets for me, my sister, and her when she would come to town in Boston, where I'm from, every Christmas if she had a concert that year. So I have pictures from when I was super young with my little cowboy hat on at Taylor Swift's concert, and I wish I got to go to the Eras tour, but I wasn't able to.
I don't know enough about this, so this is going to be like a real like amateur question. Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift era?
Yes, I do. For me, it's Speak Now. That's my favorite one. But, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
So I have a couple more questions, and I'll get you out of here. Right now, if your teammates had a contest, a karaoke contest, where the winner gets $1 million, you got to go up in front of your team, and you really got to sing this song. What song are you singing to ensure that you win this $1 million prize?
Oh, my gosh. I honestly have a bit of a fear of karaoke. Not the first option for karaoke whatsoever, but maybe The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Tomorrow, if you had the opportunity to go to space or go down at the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic, which one would you pick?
Oh, space for sure.
But the whole thing to me about space is I don't want to be up there for a long time. Like, I want to go up there, like, see the Earth from the view, see the moon, and then I want to come right back down. Like, what else is there to do up here?
Yeah, and then I'd like to be back. I agree.
Yeah, no, I would. I'd like to be back as well. I'll get you out of here with this. What is your favorite Denzel Washington movie?
Oh, I don't know.
You got to have a favorite Denzel Washington movie. Come on now. You got to like one.
I don't have one.
Alli,
I'm trying to think.
I was gonna now root for you to have great success and score a goal or whatever you need to do in soccer. Now you don't have a favorite Denzel movie?
Oh, there's so many.
That is Alli Sentinor joining us on the show. She plays for KC Current. They got a big game this weekend, a very important game at home against Orlando. Good luck to the KC Current. Alli, it was a lot of fun to have you join us today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
The KC Current, they play Saturday at 3 o'clock. You can catch that on CBS. They are in first place in their division. They play the team that is in second place in their division. Don't just watch it on television. Why don't you go out there and see CPKC Stadium for yourself? It's beautiful. It's local. It's a cool thing. Rob, can you become friend of the show if you don't have a favorite Denzel Washington movie? Like, I don't mind Alli Sentinor being friend of the show, but she doesn't have a favorite Denzel Washington movie? Text line 913-586-7965. This is serious. I don't know if I can call you friend of the show. Because if she had dropped a deep cut on there, she'd have instantly moved to the top of the list. You're a friend of the show. We need to have you on next week after this game, after you guys win. You don't have a favorite Denzel movie? That's a question I'm ready to answer at any moment. Hey, what's your favorite one? John Q. Inside Man, I'm ready. I might not give you the same answer both times you ask me, but I'm ready. I'm prepared for that. Rob, what's your favorite?
I mean, here's the thing. She didn't even take like the low-hanging fruit. There's like layup answers. You can say, oh, Remember the Titans. I saw it as a kid. It was good. It was fun. Like, is Remember the Titans Denzel's best movie? No. But if she had answered Remember the Titans, we wouldn't have a problem with her.
I would have let that rock. Somebody said, C-Dot, this is the Two Americas question with Denzel. How?
No, it is not.
How?
Absolutely not.
Even that America, you love Remember the Titans. It ended racism. Racism was over. The black team and the white team, they came together at Gettysburg, and look, they conquered it and had real, genuine love for one another. Every America loves Denzel Washington. Someone said, to be fair, she said her first concert was Taylor Swift, so maybe she's not old enough to have a favorite Denzel movie. Denzel been around for 40 years. Denzel been acting since the 80s. Malcolm X came out in 1991. She's seen one of the Equalizers. He's made 3 of them. She's seen an Equalizer. Come on now. I ain't letting this rock. She too young for Denzel. No, she can't be. How old do we think Alli Sentinor is? Let's Google it. How old do you think she is?
Somewhere between 22 to 25 is my guess.
She was born in 2004, February 18th.
She's 21 years old? Good. Is she one of the youngest professional athletes we've had on the show?
I mean, she might be number one on the list. How old is Jake Davis?
Jake Davis is under 21.
I bet you he got a favorite Denzel movie. All right, text line. Maybe you're right. Maybe she's too young to have her favorite Denzel movie. Who should I have asked her? Tom Hardy? I don't know. I didn't know.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I didn't know. He has enough movies that you can have a favorite Timothy Chalamet movie? I should have asked her about Zendaya. That's who I should have asked her. Who's your favorite character on Euphoria? That's what I should have asked her. Coming up, we're having quarterback wars. Keep it locked in right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at centuryroofingkc.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Start the school year with hot deals on Lunchbox favorites and snacks. This Friday through Sunday, shop back-to-school must-haves like Hy-Vee cereal, Lunchables, family-size Little Debbie snacks, and Goldfish crackers. Stock up on Coke 12-pack cans just $4.99 and Jack's Pizza only $2.99. Too busy to shop? Order through Aisles Online. Schedule a pickup or delivery and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Well, if you're like me, the busy season is here. It's back to school time. It's back to sports time, and that means we are so busy every single day. And Hy-Vee's Aisles Online helps us out so much. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up the order or have it delivered to your home. Hy-Vee is taking care of everything as we head into the fall season. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her. Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
It's Rawhide Harley's sign and ride event. No cash down needed. Rates as low as 1.49% APR on select Harleys. Put no cash down, sign, and ride away on your new Harley from Rawhide Harley. Save thousands on interest at Rawhide Harley Davidson. Under credit on new 2024 low rider ST, low rider S, or road like 3 miles. See dealer for details.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court, or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too if you hurt or even kill them in a crash. Instead, what if a decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can, and they did. Smell like Suntal and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Ties and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at circasports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Tune in Saturday, August 23rd for K-State and Iowa State, live from Dublin, with pregame starting at 9, kickoff at 11 on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
I do want to talk about football, but I got to call you guys out because I don't think you're being fair and I don't think you're being consistent. So we were having a little bit of fun. Alli Sentinor, shout out to her. She plays for KC Current. They are in first place. They're playing the team that's in second place in their division coming up on Saturday. Good luck to them. We support the KC Current on this show. I asked her what's her favorite Denzel Washington movie, and she didn't have one. Now, we looked up Alli Sentinor, and we found out that she was born in 2004. She is 21 years old. And the sentiment on the text line is, hey, you sound old. She's too young to know this kind of stuff. Where was this grace at a couple of weeks ago for me whenever we were doing the ultimate pump-up song list? I mean, Rob, didn't we put Back in Black on our list by AC/DC? That song came out in 1980. That song came out 8 years before I was born. I didn't hear any of this sentiment that, hey, Carrington, you're not expected to know these songs because that song came out before you were born. I didn't get any of this. I got mocked relentlessly all day because I didn't know TNT Dynamite. I didn't know. We got to be consistent here. That's all I'm saying. She's seen The Equalizer. That's all. That's the only point I want to make. Shout out to Alli. Shout out to Denzel Washington. He was on First Take. That's what made me think to ask her. Everybody's got a favorite Denzel movie. I'm just saying I want the same grace that you guys are giving her. Because when I didn't know Thunderstruck that came out when I was 1 year old, everybody mocked me and made fun of me. Yeah, we can't have fun with it. That didn't make any sense. It's not right. You guys aren't consistent. I'm starting to think you guys have it out for me. I don't know why. I thought we were better than this. I thought we were friends. But obviously we're not. Obviously you guys don't have my back. Let's get into a little bit of quarterback beef. So it started with Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons on his Sunday podcast went through the quarterback tiers list, and he put Josh Allen number one on his list. Here is the why for Bill Simmons on why he has Josh Allen as the best quarterback in the National Football League.
I did not have Patrick Mahomes at the top of the pyramid. When it came right down to it, I just think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. Game by game, regular season, durability. He can make chicken salad out of chicken. From what we saw from Mahomes last year, which I want to go into in a second, I just don't think it's fair to put him over Josh Allen, especially because Mahomes didn't win the Super Bowl last year. So when you saw that, what was your reaction?
My first reaction was I thought this goes against everything I thought I knew about you in terms of, honestly, from having, read you, listened to you, working with you, talked to you. I thought you had sort of a life principle that when one guy has the belt, somebody's got to come take the belt. If it is that close, and Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 Super Bowls, won 3, has played Josh Allen 4 times in the playoffs and beat him every time. I hear what you're saying. Those aren't Josh Allen's fault. I totally agree with that. But still, somebody wins, somebody loses. That's sports. I feel like Allen needs to either beat Mahomes and get to a Super Bowl or just win a Super Bowl to actually get the belt.
I guess my question is it possible that he might have peaked a couple years ago as like Apex Mahomes? I'm talking through it. I'm not trying to be reactionary guy. I just don't think he was as good last year as he was in that 22 season and some of those other years.
My thought on this is very simple. I think Josh Allen is amazing. I think Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the NFL. But you don't earn the crown by what you did in October or early November. You earn the crown by what you accomplish in January and February. And Buffalo's season has ended the last 2 years, down 3 with the ball and a chance to go either tie the game or take the lead, and their quarterback wasn't good enough. They had the ball last year down 3 with 3 minutes to go, and they didn't get to midfield and got turnover on downs. 2 years ago, they were at the crib, 8 minutes left in the game. Maybe the weakest Kansas City team that we've seen in the last 6-7 years or so. You had a chance to end the Chiefs. You missed a 47-yard field goal. This wasn't a chip shot. It was a 47-yard field goal into the wind. You can't be the best quarterback in the NFL if that's on your jacket. That's me saying that. I'm little old me. I'm based in Kansas City. Nobody cares about me. The Chiefs' #1 defender to the rescue, Nick Wright. He went on his podcast. Oh, you know he took offense with what we just heard.
My pal, Bill Simmons, debuts his quarterback pyramid and has Josh Allen at the top. The problem with that is we remember what he wrote. And for 15 years, Bill fought against the idea that anyone would consider Peyton Manning better than Tom Brady, even though Peyton had a far stronger case to be considered better than Brady than Josh would have right now to be considered better than Patrick. Unlike Peyton Brady, where Peyton had the stats and Brady had the wins, Mahomes has more All-Pros, more MVPs, better career numbers, 5 trips to the Super Bowl to 0, 3 rings to 0, and is 4-0 in the playoffs against him. The argument, Mahomes played so poorly in the Super Bowl, he falls down a peg. Why wasn't Josh in the Super Bowl, Bill? Because he couldn't beat Patrick again. For 20 years, Bill Simmons has valued doing it in the biggest spots in back-to-back years. Josh has gotten the ball late fourth quarter, down 3 points. They come away with 0 points. We have never made an argument that when every single year for a half decade, one guy beats and outplays another guy in the postseason, that the other guy's better.
It's almost like Nick Wright listens to this show. Is this not what I said? I mean, this is almost word for word verbatim what I said on this show. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. You cannot make an argument to me today that Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes. It does not exist currently. That's not to say that he's not good. He's fantastic. He's an all-pro. He's phenomenal. He's the second best quarterback in the league. He's just not #1. I made the analogy. He's Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is amazing. He's got tennis shoes. He leads a team. No one's arguing that Ant's the best player in the league. How? He's never been to the NBA Finals. You can't be the best player then if that's the case. It's impossible for you to be the best player. Nick, thank you for saying what needs to be said. Maybe no one will hear me say it. Again, I'm little old me. You know, I'm just do afternoons in Kansas City. Mind my business, fill in from time to time on certain platforms. I'm little old me. I'm nobody. You're Nick Wright. You're the best person in sports television. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the gospel with other people. Now, Nick, I can only give you so much credit. And Nick, you know I love you. You're my brother. You know that. You got to look to your own house. Look to your right, because our mutual friend, our dear brother, Danny Parkins, is lost. He's lost. Can you find him for me? For you. Look to your right. Your Syracuse brother, now co-workers on FS1, and stop letting him spew this garbage on television.
I'd have him where Stafford is right now. He's the fifth. He's the fifth best quarterback in football. And yes,
This is already mad.
I want you to succeed.
You're already mad.
If you succeed, I succeed. You're just making it so difficult. Go ahead. All right, well, I mean, listen, all right, well, we can just him v. Stafford. Herbert had more yards.
Well, Stafford's going to like this. Go ahead. I'm not that high on everybody's All-American.
More yards, better passer rating, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions than Stafford last year. And there is something to, and I know this is where you get upset, I like that, actually. How I see the NFL and the eye test.
I like the eye test.
It's the eye test, man. He passes all of it. And these coaches, scouts, and executives who do the rankings, what was it, 50, you said, for The Athletic? They had him 7th. ESPN put one together with coaches, scouts, and executives, 70 of them, and they ranked him 7th, ahead of Jalen Hurts on both lists. The people who do this, if we were starting a team today, who you would draft, they think he's one of the best players in football.
I'm not going to go through the stats. I don't want to do that. This is the analogy I'll make for you guys when it comes to Justin Herbert. And a lot of you are going to follow this. And I know this is an analogy that Danny will know very well. And I plan on making to Danny on some platform in the next 10 days. We've already been working at the time that works for both of us. Justin Herbert, eye test, is like walking from casino to casino in Vegas. For those of you that have been, you know exactly this feeling. You're trying to walk from Caesars to the Cosmopolitan. And you're thinking, oh, I see it. It's not really that far away. I can do it. And then you start walking. And now you got to go up this hill and you got to go across this bridge. And all of a sudden you start thinking, hey, I made a terrible decision. Why didn't I just pay the $12 to Uber down here? This would have been a much more enjoyable experience. I mean, it seemed close. Visually, it's right there. Hey, it's just one casino over, and then I'll be at the Cosmo. And then you started walking, and you realize that your eyes failed you, that it was an illusion. That's what Justin Herbert is. He is an illusion. If you don't watch the games, Justin Herbert fills every single checkbox. If you were just watching the games through stats and the raw numbers and data, yes, Justin Herbert looks like the 5th best quarterback in the league. Justin Herbert is entering his 6th season in the National Football League. He has never done anything of note. There is not one play you think of when Justin Herbert comes to mind. There is not a game from Justin Herbert that comes to mind. He has no memories. If Justin Herbert retired early like Andrew Luck, he would have his highlight package would show nothing. At least Andrew Luck had a highlight memory. Oh, I remember that game, that play. You had that great come from behind victory. I remember that. Oh, I remember when you got your team to the AFC Championship game. Justin Herbert has none of that. You know who he is? He's LaMelo Ball on the Charlotte Hornets. He's put up a lot of stats. He's done some cool things. For as long as we've known who LaMelo Ball is, he's never done anything of note. He's never played in an important game. He's never done anything. That's who Justin Herbert is. He's like walking from casino to casino in Vegas. It's fake. Your eyes tell you that it's close. And then you actually start walking and you realize, hey, that was way further away than I thought it was. That's who the quarterback of the Chargers are. I've told you guys this. He will never fool me again. Never. I will never in my life, ever, I promise you, be fooled by Justin Herbert. He's done it too many times. Too many times he's pulled the rug out from under me. I'm not going to continue to kick the football that Lucy is holding. I can't do it anymore. I refuse. And I refuse to let my brother, my friend, I love Danny. You know that. I refuse to let Danny go down this path by being lost. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 965, The Fan.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is John, and I've been on ED and testosterone treatment at Heartland Men's Health for the past 15 months. I could tell, I was starting to go downhill, and my wife kept telling me, well, you need to go to a clinic that'll specialize in that. And that's what eventually led me into the men's clinic here. Treatment, in my opinion, is a miracle. I was able to perform to an elevated position that, quite honestly, I never thought I'd see again. For my fellow men out there, if you're feeling that you're not up to par, I encourage you, contact Heartland Men's Health, and you will see a dramatic difference.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
DQ presents The Sound of Happy. Hear that? That's the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ's signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Macy's One Day Sale is the one sale you can't miss because it's our best prices of the month, like jeweled women's sandals for $19.99 and under, 60% off premium bedding from Charter Club, and over half off Alfani 3-piece suits. Half off. Plus, it's Star Money Bonus Days, when Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster. Not a member yet? Join for free and earn $10 in Star Money for every 100 you spend. Tomorrow at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells a car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. $25,000. What am I getting for being here? No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
A blood emergency has been declared in the Kansas City region, and donors are urgently needed. Now through August 26th, donate with Community Blood Center and be entered to win tickets to the Chiefs home opener. Visit SaveALifeNow.org or call 877-468-6844 to schedule your donation today.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Big problem headed into downtown Kansas side of things. 670 eastbound closed at 70. They say will be cleared here soon. Car fire 435 westbound just before 103rd in the two right lanes. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center in Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Very excited to be joined by our next guest. His name is Matt Verderame. He does fantastic work for Sports Illustrated. There's a lot of NFL things to get to. Matt Verderame, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. did you watch Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift yesterday on New Heights? This seems like something Sports Illustrated, they put you in charge of, where that was your number one responsibility yesterday.
I did not hear a word about it from Sports Illustrated, so I love working there. I did watch about 90 minutes of it and then kind of tuned out. But it was, you know what, I got to say, the most impressive thing I think about that entire deal, everybody's talking about, Jared Goff comments, her no one covers zero. I thought the most impressive thing was they just seemed very normal. And I'm not surprised with Travis Kelce from the standpoint that I've gotten to interview Travis a few times, and he's always been one of the more gracious people I've dealt with. But, you watch it, I mean, Taylor's making sourdough and just hanging out. And, I think there's a genuineness to them I think captivates people along with their talent. But, yeah, I watched 3/4 of it, and it was a good watch.
I was talking about it earlier, and I was saying, you do this as well. You interview a lot of people. Great interviews usually come from two different things. Number one, the person's willingness to talk. You can ask the best questions in the world. If the person you are asking the questions to doesn't want to talk that day, you will not get a good interview out of them. And it also comes from just an established relationship. You could tell that there were certain things that she was ready to talk about and be very open about, and it was obviously like all three of them really love and care about each other and have a relationship that exists outside of this thing. When you get those two things to come together, you can create something really special, and that's what their conversation was.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, she, Taylor Swift is somebody who everybody in the world wants to speak with, feels like, and in that case, she's talking to her boyfriend. She's talking to her boyfriend's brother. Like, and it came off that way. It came off very, I hate the term, but like organic. It came off just very, casual. And you're right. When you're interviewing somebody, a lot of times, that person, they got to feel at ease. If they don't feel at ease, they're not going to really open up about anything. And obviously, she was very at ease in that interview, and it was, I thought really, quite frankly, more illuminating than I thought it was going to be. I expected it to be, like typically kind of guarded. It wasn't at all, and I give them all credit for that.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. Matt, a lot of things to get to. Let's start with Rashee Rice. What do you make of this isn't going to be resolved until late September, early October? I understand that they're bringing in Sue L. Robinson, and we know her history, her track record. She was involved with the Deshaun Watson case. They couldn't find any time between July 17th, when the court case wrapped up, and September 30th. They couldn't find any date to get this done before the start of the season and levy out whatever suspension he's going to get.
Hey, Sue's got a busy schedule. But I would tell you that I think the most interesting part of this is the fact that it's got to go to Sue L. Robinson. Because that's telling you that the NFL and the NFLPA's representation for Rashee Rice are very far apart on this. And that's, look, that obviously speaks to the idea that the NFL really wants to hammer him for it. And, I think it's going to be very, very intriguing to see from a football perspective and a purely football perspective on this. Like, does Robinson side with what apparently the NFL feels, which is, look, he deserves, I would think if he's really fighting it, more than 6 games? And, on the other side, does she side with him and say, look, be consistent with some of the other things? Hey, maybe he gets 3 games. Maybe he gets 4. I mean, I think it's fascinating. And both sides can appeal, by the way. The NFL can appeal her ruling, as can Rice and his counsel. And if either side appeals, then the suspension is held off and he continues to play during the appeal. But, there's been a lot of talk back and forth. Like, is this beneficial for the Chiefs? Is it not? Maybe I'm in the minority. I actually think it benefits the Chiefs. I really do. I think, now he's going to play, unless they come to an agreement beforehand, a settlement. He's going to play against the Eagles. He's going to play against the Ravens. He's going to play against the Chargers. Like, I think for Kansas City, I think it's a win. Like, if he gets suspended later and he's out for November, I look at their schedule in November. They're playing Indianapolis and that. Like, they should win those games, even if he's not there. So, to me, I think it's beneficial, dependent, of course, upon, that he's not suspended for, like, playoff games and stuff like that.
Matt, this was the take that I had on it. I understand that the suspension is solely about the player, but I think some of it else is also about taking that player off of the team. I think you would say that the 4 most important games for the Chiefs this season are Eagles, Baltimore. You can either pick the Chargers game in Brazil or the Detroit home game, and then they play at Buffalo on week 9. In my opinion, if you're going to suspend a player of this caliber, you cannot allow him to play in the Chargers game, Eagles game, and the Ravens game, and then he's able to come back for the game on the road against Buffalo. Why in the world did you even suspend that player from the very beginning of the season? Like, if you allowed the Chiefs, I think from the very beginning of the season, hey, he's only going to miss 3 or 4 games. You pick the 3 or 4 games. I think you would pick the Jacksonville, Detroit, Vegas, and then Washington. I still allow him to play in all the most important games and all the games that we potentially need for a tiebreaker. To me, now that they are doing it this way, that suspension has to include the Buffalo game for it to really matter from an NFL perspective.
Yeah, and look, to that point, like, if you're the Chiefs, just from the standpoint of Andy and Brett Beach and guys, like, you're sitting there going, all right, just going to play the first 4 games. Let's hope that it's a 4-game suspension and it happens like immediately. And then, okay, he's out for the Jags and the Raiders, who they should beat either way. And then 2 NFC games that I would sit here and argue, okay, I mean, the Commanders are a good team, but I think the Chiefs should still beat Washington with or without Rice, depending on other injuries and stuff like that. And okay, the Detroit games may be like a coin flip. If they even got him back for Buffalo, people in the league would go insane. People in the league would go absolutely nuts if he doesn't miss those first 4 games and then comes back for the Bills and after that the Broncos game. So, but this is where I do find it interesting because the NFL can still come to an agreement with Rice's people, right? Like, that can still happen and it can still go into effect immediately. I just wonder if you're the league, if you think there's a decent to good chance he's only going to get 4 games with Sewell Robinson. Do you just settle and say, look, like, let's aim for 5, and he sits for 5 games to start the year? And if that's the case, does Rice say, nah, that's all right, I'm good, let's take it to Sewell Robinson? Like, it's very, very interesting. There's a lot of layers to it.
No, there definitely are a lot of layers to all of this. And right now we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. If I had to guess right now, I'm guessing he gets 5 games. I think he comes back after the bye week and is eligible to play for the Denver game. So that would put him out for Jacksonville, Detroit, Vegas, Washington, and Buffalo. He gets a 5-game suspension, and he then comes back, and he is then eligible to play for the game on Thanksgiving against Dallas. That's what I would guess if you were asking me today if it was on FanDuel and guess the number of games missed, I would guess 5.
I think that's pretty – I've said 4 to 6 all time. So 5 would be splitting the difference, right? I mean, I think that's about right. I will say this, though. When you get to the now having to go to a hearing with Sewell Robinson, it changes everything because it's her opinion. Like, she could sit there and just go, yeah, he's getting 3 games. And, yeah, the NFL could appeal it. But, what is really the basis of appealing it? Like, I don't – it'd be very hard to appeal at that point. And, like, I remember the Deshaun Watson thing, as you do and everybody does who went through it. Like, I think we all thought, oh, he's gone for the year. Like, he's got to be gone for the year. Minimum, he's gone for the year. He got 11 games. And that's the one thing that is hard with this the NFL, too, is, like, you have these precedents. And I know with him it's alleged. Look, what he was alleged to have done was beyond heinous. Got 11 games. Justin Tucker, a lot of similar allegations. Just happened this year, got 10 games. So, if you're Rashee Rice, what he did was moronic. It was to then flee the scene is cowardly. Like, there's a million different adjectives you could use that fit. But the result of it, thankfully, for everyone involved, is nobody got killed. Nobody got really, really injured. And so that, I'm sure, is going to be the case that they present on the other side. And look, like, if you're going to go after this guy and try to hammer him for 8 games or something like that, what is your argument? Based on the result that happened, based on previous suspensions. And that's why I think it's really hard for the NFL to go after him for more than 6. I think 6 is fair. It's the high mark of it. I just don't know how you go for more than that based on all the other stuff I just laid out.
Matt, we are done with training camp for the Chiefs. We are heading towards their 2nd preseason game. How would you kind of sum up? How would you wrap up preseason? How would you wrap up the training camp? You got a chance to go out there, talk to people, see the Chiefs up close for yourself. Yep. This is kind of how I've looked at it. On defense, This team, there's no reason to worry or think about their defense in the early part of the season. They basically return everybody from last year. And if you're telling me the one loss is Justin Reed, that's the one place that I think they're prepared to kind of deal with having some turnover. On offense, we got our questions about the offensive line. We still don't know with the wide receiver room who's healthy, who's not going to be there. What was your takeaway at Chiefs camp as we wrap up training camp?
Look, I think they're pretty loaded. And I know I'm not really breaking new ground, right? Like the team that just went to 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls is really good. I know we could put that on a marquee, but it's. I've been to Indy, I've been to Minnesota, I've been to Green Bay. I'm going to see the Bears and the Bills tomorrow in the joint practice. So I've seen the Bears already in OTAs. I've seen, I've seen the Bengals. The Chiefs are the Chiefs are so much better than all those teams, talent-wise. And, of course, yes, it starts with Mahomes, and Mahomes the day I was there was spectacular. But, when you talk about the Chiefs, right, like you're talking about a team that you're going, okay, who's wide receiver 5? Who's corner 4? The one big question is, like, kind of how do you play out left guard? I think because Simmons has been so good at left tackle, you're like, all right, well, that guy's just going to be there. But those are first-world problems to the hilt. I mean, I've gone around the league. You're looking at good teams who are like, we have no idea who our number 2 and 3 corners are. We have no idea who half of the line is. There are real questions. Whereas the Chiefs, their questions are so minuscule, and they're just going to cover it up because they're just better than most of these teams, but their talent they have. Look, I think this offseason was a win for them. They're healthy to this point. I think this roster's better than it was a year ago, just with the maturation of some guys. I was super impressed with their rookie class. I think the rookie class is going to be very good. And I know I share that opinion with some other people in the media nationally as well. I will say this about the Chiefs. If Mahomes is upright for 17 games, I just don't see any world that this team wins less than like 12 games. I don't. And I know there are some people out there who pick Denver, the Chargers. Good luck to you. I would be shocked if the Chiefs aren't a 12, 13, 14 win team.
Matt, let's talk about a couple of the national stories before we get you out of here. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns. A lot of our time spent talking about the NFL has been spent talking about maybe their 3rd or 4th string quarterback in a 5th-round pick. He was very impressive in his first preseason game. I think we all were looking forward to seeing him in the second one. We're not going to get that opportunity now with the injury. I already didn't know about Cleveland's quarterback situation. Now I really don't know about Cleveland's quarterback situation.
Nobody knows about Cleveland's quarterback situation. Look, that's going to be one of those things that feels like we're going to see like 4 different starting quarterbacks this year. There's always a team that happens. The Browns are just a massive leader in the clubhouse for it. I feel like taking health out of it for a second, Flacco's going to be the week 1 starter. He's been there. He's a veteran. He knows the offense. And let's also be honest. He's the easiest guy to give the hook to, right? Because if you put a rookie in there, whether it's Gabriel or Sanders, and they don't play well, and you got to give them the hook, it's a confidence thing. It's a locker room. It's a bad situation to be in. You can do that with Flacco and not care. And Flacco is going to sit there and collect his check and be fine because that's his role at this point. I don't know that Pickett doesn't see a game or two, but again, like, what is the upside of Kenny Pickett? He's Kenny Pickett. Do they really need to see him a ton to figure out what they have? So I think Sanders he's going to play. Is it early? Probably not, but I wouldn't be shocked the back half of the season he plays. Quite honestly, if you're the Browns, why not? Like, they're not going to be good. They're going to be the 4th out of 4 teams at the – like, if I'm the Browns, play in the last 8-9 games of the year. If he's awful, fine. Then I get a great draft pick. I can take another shot at a quarterback. And if he's good and promising, then that's great. Then, all right, cool. We got our quarterback. But I just think if you're the Browns at some point, it benefits you, whether it's him or Gabriel, to play one of these young guys, just let him play it out.
Matt, I was really trying to think of reasons why someone would cheer for the Cowboys over the last 24 hours, and I don't know if I have a really good answer. Like, a lot of Cowboys fans believe that their owner and general manager, winning is not their number one priority, and it's selling tickets, what the evaluation for the team is, and just being a reality television show. It seems like it's hell to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys, and I would stop cheering for that team and just start over. Find a new team. the Cowboys went from being one of the quietest teams in the offseason. It was like unusually quiet, like you're a parent, it was like when your kid's off by itself and you're not hearing any noise, and that lets you know, hey, something's going on, like something's not where it needs to be. And then you go check and then you realize what you've missed. I feel like the Cowboys, they were just too quiet that they couldn't have that happen for the entire offseason, and now they're back to being the Cowboys.
Yeah, look, I've said this probably 50 times in the last week and a half. Jerry Jones doesn't care if he wins games. He just doesn't care. I truly feel that way. I wouldn't say that about almost any other owner I can name. Jerry he doesn't care. Jerry cares that Jerry's in the headlines. He cares that he gets to hold a little presser all the time and that everybody wants to stick a microphone in his face. And when Micah Parsons gets the extension that we all eventually believe he's going to get, there's no reason to interview Jerry anymore. So he's going to drag this thing out as long as he possibly can because he doesn't care. What does it matter to him? He doesn't care if Micah Parsons is pissed or the team's upset or he doesn't. It's fine. It means more headlines for the Cowboys. It means more A blocks on First Take. Like that. Jerry Jones measures success in mentions on ESPN, not in wins. And and in that case, he is a dynasty that is unmatched. But yeah, I mean, I look at the Cowboys and I always laugh. Like we spend all this time talking about it. They're going to go 8-9. Like in the end, like nobody, like they were when I grew up. I'm 37. They were it. They were America's team, the 90s. Now, like when they play on Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, nobody's turning that game on to watch the Cowboys. I can promise you. Like, it's just they will be irrelevant, and he knows it, and so he's looking at all the camera time right now.
Matt, give me a team that you were actually really impressed with that you saw in preseason. They say that you can't overreact to preseason football, but come on now. We've all done this enough. We all overreact, whether it's positively or negatively, based on what we see in the preseason. Was there a team that surprised you?
Yeah, I'll be really honest. There was no team that I watched and said, I will say this, I like Jackson Dart. I thought he played well against Buffalo. But there was no team as a whole that I sat there and was like, wow, they looked a lot better than I thought. I will say this, though, on the flip side. The Bengals, who I did see, I spent time with the coordinator one-on-one, Al Golden. I talked to him for, I don't know, probably 15 minutes, he and I, before practice. That defense was so bad playing their ones against the Eagles' backups. I mean, I'm not a big reactor. I really don't react to preseason games because I just know that there's so many different things that go in a regular season game that don't apply in a preseason game. They got beat so thoroughly in that game against backup players. I would be legitimately concerned if I was a Bengals fan. Like, I don't know what – like, and the idea that, like, Trey Henderson's going to come back and fix this is just nonsense. He'll be great if he comes back, and he's a terrific player. Yeah, he's not making up for 9 guys that can't play. Like, it is what, I mean, Tanner McKee lit them up so badly that there were real people on Twitter saying, like, I wouldn't take a second-round pick for Tanner McKee. Like, what? Are you kidding me? But that's what the Bengals' first-string defense did to people's brains. So that was my biggest takeaway from week 1 of the preseason.
Last thing here, and this might be the most important question. Do you have a favorite Denzel Washington movie?
He is my favorite actor of all time. I have many favorite Denzel Washington movies, but I love Man on Fire. I could watch that movie probably once a week and never get tired of it.
Okay, because I was going to ask you what's your favorite and then what's your sleeper movie. I think a lot of people would consider Man on Fire to be a sleeper movie. Rob always makes fun of me because I love John Q. Like, there is not a person alive that loves the movie John Q more than I do.
I'll give you, I mean, look, I love the movie Philadelphia with him and Tom Hanks. Glory is a great movie. That he's in at Morgan Freeman's. I mean, that movie's just spectacular. But if Denzel Washington's in the movie, I'm in. I've probably watched, I don't know, 15 of his movies. I mean, I think he's the best actor of our generation.
That is Matt Verderame joining us on the show. He does fantastic work with Sports Illustrated, getting you ready for the start of the NFL season. Matt, great stuff as always, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That is Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated joining us on the show today. Really good stuff, as always, from him. I know we're not supposed to overreact to preseason football. I'm not here to overreact to preseason football. That was not an encouraging sign for the Cincinnati Bengals, especially a team that is really and desperately looking to start quickly. Like, that has been a point of emphasis for the Bengals is we got to start fast. We got to start fast. We got to start fast. That was not a glowing endorsement to their team. Coming up in just a bit, I got to ask you guys a question. Who is the athlete that you just had to be there for to experience? I'll explain what I mean. Keep it right here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here. It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there? That's all I paid for it.
Let me get back to you on that. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Back to school means back with friends. And Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need for the new year for less. Shop the latest styles from brands like Nike, Jordan, Wilson, Carhartt, and Birkenstock. Plus, check out our game-changing selection of backpacks. Save even more on the latest deals each week. Stop by your local store or shop academy.com. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose.
Start the school year with hot deals on lunchbox favorites and snacks. This Friday through Sunday, shop back-to-school must-haves like Hy-Vee cereal, Lunchables, family-size Little Debbie snacks, and Goldfish crackers. Stock up on Coke 12-pack cans just $4.99 and Jack's Pizza only $2.99. Too busy to shop? Order through Aisles Online. Schedule a pickup or delivery and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Well, if you're like me, the busy season is here. It's back to school time. It's back to sports time, and that means we are so busy every single day. And Hy-Vee's Aisles Online helps us out so much. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up the order or have it delivered to your home. Hy-Vee is taking care of everything as we head into the fall season. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
When you think home insurance, you think boring and complex, right? Wrong. Allstate is now changing the game with our new and improved home insurance. And it all starts with a simplified shopping experience. Our latest online quoting tool gives you confidence in not only knowing you have the right protection, but our lowest price, too. So check Allstate first for home insurance that's better than ever. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings and prices vary. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. The car fire still down south, 435 westbound just before 103rd. The two right lanes are blocked, and near downtown 670 eastbound still closed at 70 while they clean up that wreck for you. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I would really appreciate it if you guys would go on this nostalgic journey with me. You know the saying, you just had to be there? I was wondering this week, who are or what are some things in sports that you just simply had to be there to understand and to fully comprehend? I was having a conversation with somebody about Odell Beckham, and I don't know if 10, 15 years from now, when people discuss Odell Beckham, they will understand how much of a phenomenon he was for a short period of time and how much his life changed after the catch on Sunday Night Football, where Odell Beckham was a legitimate superstar. I don't know if you can get that by just simply looking at his stats. You just kind of had to be there to experience in real time. I was thinking of who some other people are that kind of fit this criteria, and these are some that I came up with. We've been talking a lot of college football lately. You just had to be there to understand how important Miami against Florida State was. There was a 10-year period, it felt like. It felt like the winner of Miami and Florida State was the national champion or the best team in college football. There was a time there where we go back and we look at some of those rosters and some of those teams. We're talking about 10, 15, 20 NFL players. You know how big of a deal LSU and Alabama became? That's what it felt like between Florida State and Miami during this time frame. A lot of these kids grew up around each other, knew each other. You're playing for state pride. You're playing for your city. You're playing for your people. It was just a different feeling of a rivalry. It's not really the same anymore. It'll never be how it was in the 90s and the early 2000s. It was just one of those things that you just had to be there to experience. It didn't matter who was on the team. They were always going to end the exact same way. Florida State was going to be down 3 with the chance to send the game to overtime or a chance to win the game. They were going to have a field goal, and they were going to miss the field goal. I mean, this happened basically every year, it feels like, in our childhood. It was just one of those things that you had to be there to experience. I was watching recently the Kurt Warner movie. I've been a, get back to football kick. And Steve McNair was just one of those players. We talk about the Hall of Very Good. Steve McNair might be at the front of the Hall of Very Good. You know how good of a football player you got to be for them to look at Peyton Manning and say, well, we were considering giving you all of the MVP trophy, but we're only going to give you some of it because this other player was so good this season, we're going to give him part of it. Steve McNair was a top 5 pick from an HBCU. You know how crazy that would be today? In the 2026 NFL draft, if the number 3 overall pick went to Alcorn State at quarterback, that happened in our lifetime. Steve McNair, he was that guy. Steve McNair is just one of those players. You just simply had to be there. We're not going to talk about him like he's Brady or Peyton Manning or Ben Roethlisberger or Drew Brees, and he wasn't those guys. He didn't have the longevity, maybe didn't have the peak, wasn't as consistent, but there was a time there where Steve McNair played like, and we treated him like he was one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the National Football League. You know I got to give you an NBA one. I love a good NBA one. Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is kind of one of those players that you just kind of had to be there for. It was like a mini Dennis Rodman. This guy just, never really heard of, went to a small school. It's not like you have any closeness to what college he went to. And for a 7-year stretch, he was the best defensive player in the NBA. The way that people talk about Rudy Gobert, I would even argue the way that people talk about Draymond Green, that's actually what Ben Wallace was. For a 7-year stretch, he either won best defensive player in the league or was second in the voting. That's insane. Averaged 12 rebounds a season during this stretch. Ben Wallace is just one of those players. You just had to be there to fully understand how dominant and how great of a defensive player that he was. He was the heart and soul of a championship winning team, a team that didn't have a LeBron or a Kobe or one of them. They won a championship and their best player was Richard Hamilton. You want to know why they did that? Because Ben Wallace was on that team. Rob, let me ask you, who is or what is your sports thing that you just had to be there in the moment to understand how special it was?
I think people our age will understand this one. I think the answer is Mike Vick with the Falcons. I went back and looked at Mike Vick's stats because I think the average person thinks Mike Vick was a video game, and he was. We had the commercials of the Mike Vick experience. Like, Mike Vick was, wow, must-see television. He took a team to the playoffs. He won a playoff game. It was just, wow, can you believe what Mike Vick did? Like, we can Google highlights, and there are long YouTube packages of Mike Vick doing incredible things with the Falcons. Do you want to know that he never threw for over 20 touchdowns in a season with the Falcons? 20! I'm not saying 25 or 30 or 40. He never threw for 20 touchdowns in a season. We love completion percentage on this show. That is we love yards per carry, and we love completion percentage.
You ain't lying. I love it.
His was consistently under 55%. That's bad. It really is not good in the NFL to only complete a little more than half of your passes. But it doesn't matter. You watched Mike Vick, and you were like, oh, he's special. And if you watched him, you understood it. But if you look at his Football Reference page, you don't get it.
Can I give you a pop culture one? You know we love talking about movies on this show. Can I give you a pop culture one? I remember there was a time where a Vote for Pedro shirt was like one of the coolest things that you could have. I don't think people talk about Napoleon Dynamite like it's one of those transcendent comedies. It just is. Like, I'm not sure if you showed Napoleon Dynamite right now. Like, let's say your kid's in high school. And let's say you're just like sitting there looking for a movie to watch with your family. And then you're like, hey, you know what? This movie was really funny when I was in high school. Why don't you watch it with me? I'm not sure if your kid's going to laugh at Napoleon Dynamite or think it was kind of funny. It was just one of those things. I don't know. You just had to see it when it came out. I can't explain. I've never seen a movie like it before. I've never seen a movie like it since. I'm not even sure if it was honestly really that funny. But it was just something about that movie that was just really special in the time, was really special in the moment. I'm not sure if it translates to 2025. I don't even know if I have much of a desire to watch Napoleon Dynamite. But I'm telling you, when that movie came out, you couldn't get away from it. And it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Napoleon Dynamite is one of those pop culture things that you just simply had to be there. I'll give you another one. Rob, did you ever have a Gigapet or like a Tamagotchi?
I didn't, but I knew people who did, and I was jealous of them.
Like trying to explain, like today, try to explain a Tamagotchi. Try to explain that to somebody who wasn't around in 2004. Like, it sounds like one of the dumbest ideas and inventions and toys ever. But we all had one back in the day. I remember there was this one, it was like a, I don't know, it was like a karate fighter. I don't know what it was, but you would like train it, and then you could like combine it with your friends to see which one had the stronger one. It was like having a Pokemon in your pocket. Again, incredibly stupid, dumb. Some of us had virtual dogs in our pocket that we really cared about, and you had to feed and clean like an actual dog, but it wasn't a dog. I know it sounds dumb, but I'm telling you, it's just one of those things. You had to be around in 2005. You just had to be around to understand how cool it was to have one of these toys. You just simply had to be there to experience it. We could read some of you guys' text lines. You know I love a good nostalgic trip down memory lane. We'll take a nostalgic trip down memory lane, and then we'll talk about Rashee Rice's trip down the express lane. We'll do that. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford, still working the car fire 435 westbound just before 103rd. It is in the clearing stages. Debris in the road from a wreck, 71 northbound past 29th in the center lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Smokehouse Barbecue has always been our choice when it comes to barbecue in Kansas City. We love everything about Smokehouse Barbecue. And now Smokehouse has street tacos, their newest menu item. 3 flour tortillas, chopped burnt ends and smoked sausage, plus corn elote and Cajun sour cream and a side. And now, every Tuesday, kids eat for $1.99 with the purchase of an adult entree. So visit Smokehouse Barbecue in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, and at smokehousebbq.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Tiger, dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
Get ready, KC. August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner.
Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for every single football fan. It's 24 hours of deals, and you know I love a deal, on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think is going to win MVP. Take a flyer on who you think is going to win the championship this year, and you can parlay your division dark horse candidates. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. You guys always tell me what you think. This time, put your money where your mouth is. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. So if you like Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, this is the time to take him. Or if you think the Chiefs are heading back to the big game, August 28th is a day for you. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Racino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. It's KansasGamblingHelp.com.
Our biggest deal is back. The Tires at Cost Sale at Tilley Tire and Auto Centers. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no catch. All in-stock tires from Tilley's huge inventory at cost. Plus mounting and balancing by certified tire technicians for only $27.95. The top brands, the lowest possible prices, with a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. There's never been a better time to replace your worn-out tires. These unbeatable savings won't last long. Hurry and reserve your tires today. Take care of your car. Take advantage of our sale. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for junk tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Listen to the Chiefs and Seahawks on Friday with pregame starting at 8 right here on your exclusive home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFMZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey sports station.
All right, we'll get back to present day in just a bit, but right now, if you would just walk with me through this nostalgic trip, we were talking about things in sports that you just simply had to be there to experience. Like, it is impossible for you to explain it to somebody who wasn't there. You just had to live it in the moment and understand the importance of it. Someone on the text line said, how would you explain Linsanity to a 12-year-old? This Asian kid that we had never heard of for 2 weeks became Caitlin Clark. That's how I would describe it. We had never heard of it before. We had never seen anything like it. Next thing you know, this kid just started dropping 40 points on people and just doing things that you didn't think were possible. It's like, whoa, what is going on here? That's how I would describe it. It was a pretty crazy time. Hey, this kid we had never heard of before that went to Harvard, hey, he dropped 40 on Kobe in Madison Square Garden. Like, what? Yeah, no, that happened. I saw it. It was wild that it happened. And then we never heard from him again. Just for 2 weeks, he turned into Caitlin Clark. That's how I would describe it to somebody who wasn't there. Now, this is a really good one from the text line. Text line 913-586-7965. Dante Hall and Devin Hester are perfect examples of what I'm talking about. Didn't they name a Gatorade after Dante Hall? Like, just think about that. A special teams player for the Chiefs, they named a Gatorade after him. And it makes sense. They named a Gatorade after him. It's like a really big deal. It is impossible to explain to somebody that wasn't around in 2005 that the Chicago Bears made the Super Bowl and their best player was their kick and punt returner and a middle linebacker. It just doesn't make any sense. They had Rex Grossman as their starting quarterback, and they just had Brian Urlacher and Devin Hester and was like, I guess we can go to the Super Bowl. That happened. We were there. We saw it. Pretty amazing that it happened. I mean, that would never happen today. It could not happen today. It is impossible that could happen in the NFL. But we saw it. A team went to the Super Bowl, and their best player was a middle linebacker and a kick returner and a special teams guy, and they went to the Super Bowl.
I mean, honestly, how far away are we removed from telling our kids that SportsCenter top 10 plays was the thing you had to be there for? Like, I know that's a media answer, but does SportsCenter still do a top 10? Because part of the aura and lore of these athletes from times past was they were doing something cool every night. Linsanity was a top 10 play every night. Like, that wasn't the case. And will that be a thing in 10, 20 years? Because, like, making SportsCenter top 10 used to be a really big deal. And Dante Hall, his run against the Broncos was that. Like, that's part of the had to be their lore, is the SportsCenter top 10 boost you got from having a cool moment.
Let's get back to present day and let's talk about Rashee Rice. We just had Matt Verderame on the show talking about the suspension for Rashee Rice. So we have a little bit of an update. Now, we don't know when he is going to be suspended. We don't know for how many games, but we do have a date set. On September 30th, he is going to have a sit down with Sue L. Robinson. Now, for those of you who don't know who Sue L. Robinson is, she was the one who presided over the Deshaun Watson hearings. Now, this is very important to note. Sue L. Robinson was the one who originally gave Deshaun Watson 6 games. And then the NFL came and was like, no. That's not enough. So I think this point that Matt Verderame is making in regards to this suspension is actually a really good point. I think you were bringing in somebody like this because you guys are not close on what you think that suspension should be. Here's Matt Verderame.
I think the most interesting part of this is the fact that it's got to go to Sue L. Robinson, because that's telling you that the NFL and the NFLPA's representation for Rashee Rice are very far apart on this. And that's, look, that obviously speaks to the idea that the NFL really wants to hammer him for it. And, you know, I mean, I think it's going to be very, very intriguing to see from a football perspective and a purely football perspective on this. Like, does Robinson side with what apparently the NFL feels, which is, look, he deserves, I would think if he's really fighting it, more than 6 games? And, you know, on the other side, does she side with him and say, look, be consistent with some of the other things? Hey, maybe he gets 3 games. Maybe he gets 4. I mean, I think it's fascinating. And both sides can appeal, by the way. The NFL can appeal her ruling, as can Rice and his counsel. And if either side appeals, then the suspension is held off and he continues to play during the appeal.
I want to talk about the Rashee Rice situation incident from this perspective. This is very, very complex. We're talking about an incident that happened a year and a half ago. We're talking about a person who was driving at very excessive speeds on the highway, got into a wreck, fled the scene. A lot of people have asked the question, hey, was Rashee Rice drinking when he got into the car accident? We will never know because he didn't turn himself in instantly. This is what I think. This is just my opinion. I don't know. This is just my opinion. It's kind of hard to think that you weren't drinking. You were just leaving a bowling alley, you and your friends that decided to get into a race, and you're racing in the middle of the day. I think he realized it. They ended up calling one of the top attorneys in Texas, and I think the legal advice was, we're not turning ourselves in until all of this clears your system. Come over here right now, have your friend drive you over here. You better be drinking all the cranberry juice in the world, and 2 days from now, then we'll have you turn yourself in. We're going to fully cooperate, but we cannot let them have you blow into this thing. And we're going to make sure it is at 0.0 before we turn yourself in. So there's the complexity of that. There also is what could have happened? This could have ended very, very badly. Some of the people who got injured in this, it is a single mother who was taking her 2 kids home after leaving the Dallas Zoo. Now, they have handled this civilly, and he's paid these people. I don't know the exact amount of money, but he has certainly given them some money, as he should, for the injuries that were sustained in this car crash. He also got jail time in this. Now, it's 30 days, and you got 5 years to do it, and we can laugh about, oh, hey, when will you do your 30 days? He got actual jail time for this. So there's that component to it. There's what he did. There's leaving the scene of the crime. Like, this isn't like a straightforward kind of incident. I don't want to diminish what Jordan Addison did, but it's a pretty straightforward. You were drunk. You fell asleep behind the wheel of a car. Nobody was injured. The cops came. You got a note. You pled no contest to it. Hey, we're going to give you a 3-game suspension. This is a really complex situation that anything seems possible. Anybody telling you that they know what the NFL is going to do is lying to you. Or you know Adam Schefter. If you know Ian Rappaport, if that's your guy and you guys talk privately, yeah, maybe he can tell you kind of what's going on behind the scenes, but no one knows. I think anything is possible. I think he could get 3 games. Now that you have gone through this process, and I mean, this isn't just you meeting with the NFL. This is you meeting with a third-party former U.S. District Court judge. He could get 8 games. Like, anything is possible. What happened with Deshaun Watson, again, he got 6 games, which what she determined was part of the NFL conduct policy. The NFL kind of realized, hey, we can't sell this 6-game suspension, not with everything that he's been accused of, and then they added more games onto his suspension. What's to stop that from happening here? What's to stop her from determining that he can get 2 games? The NFL saying, no. we got to send a much stronger message than this. We think he gets 5 games for it. Like, that's absolutely within play in this situation. Again, nobody can tell you what can happen. But if we're talking about this from a serious perspective, like, this throws a big wrench, this throws a big question mark and an uncertainty. That's why I said earlier, I just much rather get this over and let's just be on the same page about it. Maybe that wasn't a possibility. It sounds like her schedule didn't really line up and then they got a couple of games out of it. Maybe that's what he wanted. I have absolutely no clue. He could be playing in the Buffalo game. He could not be playing in the Buffalo game. He could get an 8-game suspension and just miss a significant chunk of the middle part of the season and has a really disjointed time frame to it. I don't think anybody can give you a clear answer because, A, I don't know what the NFL is going to do, and you have no clue what a ruling is going to do when they sit down and have this conversation.
I'd also say, as much as today's news gives us an idea what the timeline could be, I would say we still don't know. Matt Verderame, in that cut about Sue L. Robinson, mentions that let's say the two sides, the NFLPA, Rice, and the NFL sit down and Sue L. Robinson says, we're looking at 5 games. The NFL can appeal and ask for more. Or let's say that Sue L. Robinson says, okay, what you do is a problem, it's 10 games. Rashee Rice can appeal and ask for less. So what I think is frustrating for the Chiefs and the powers that be and all the football things and probably fans is today's news only means that the murkiness and the uncertainty and the lack of knowledge we have about the suspension, that timeline got dragged out today because Sue L. Robinson, the 30th, her verdict is not final. There is an appeal by either side that can happen, which only elongates the process. And that means Rice will stay on the field, but it also means Rice will stay on the field and a suspension could be coming later in the year. Nate Taylor was on with Cody and Golder, and he said this is what Rasheed Rice wanted. That's surprising to me because it feels like the suspension and the question about it lingering on to the season is the worst possible outcome for everyone because we don't have any certainty about the situation at all. All we know is they're meeting on September 30th.
Yeah, no, that's all we know here. So someone asked the question, text line 913-586-7965, and I do want to take you guys' phone calls and read some of your text on this. CDOT, I thought Rice showed up. I thought Rice showed back up that day, but I could be wrong about this. So just to go all the way, and that's why some of my frustration with this is, we've had a lot of time to do this. The Rashee Rice car accident happened on March 30th of 2024. Happened on March 30th. So we're talking about, 17 months ago? That Rashee Rice got into this car accident. And we've also now had, it will be a month, 2 days from now, that this was figured out in a court. So it's been fully figured out through the court and the legal system. And yet 75 days later is when he finally gets his sit down with the National Football League. So he got into this car accident on March 30th and turned himself in on April 11th. So there was a warrant that was put out on the 10th. They then turned himself in the next day. So, we don't really know. Rashee Rice could have been blitzed out of his mind when he got into this car accident. You fled the scene, and then you didn't have to turn yourself in for 2 weeks. We just will never get the answer to that question. I don't know if you can factor that into a suspension. You shouldn't. We got to go off the information that we have and not what we think happened in this situation. I'm simply just bringing it up because there is just a lot of uncertainty about this case and what could possibly happen. Somebody asked the question, what's the point of all of this if the NFL can then rule against it? Exactly. This is what I mean is I think the NFL constantly puts themselves in really difficult situations where if you're now going to be the one to kind of legislate penalties and punishment, okay, isn't that what the courts and the legal system are from? We got his penalty, and now you are coming in, and I get it as an employer. Hey, you didn't represent the brand, you didn't do it, but they also have the ability to overrule the third party that they then select. They have the ability to do it. They did it with Deshaun Watson. They've done this before. We bring this person in. This person tells us what they think the suspension should be, and then we disagree with it, so then we did what we wanted to anyway. They kind of get that ability in the CBA.
I was going to say, I just read the CBA, and I apologize for interrupting.
You're good.
The CBA says, and by the way, this is why the NFL players are so bad at this when it comes to union and negotiating. The CBA says a third party will hear the case. If the NFL decides to appeal, Goodell can can listen to the appeal himself, or he can assign someone in the NFL office to hear the appeal. So if Sue L. Robinson says 2 games for Rice,
he can then come in and be like, well, now I want to.
He can be like, I want to appeal, and then he can say, I've heard the appeal that I made, and I vote 10. That's the final verdict. That's a crazy system we signed up for.
100%. This is why, and I get it, why fans don't want to have these conversations and why it only matters. But when you and I talk about the NFL and this thing and the CBA, and people are like, I don't care, I just want to watch the games. Well, now you're kind of at the mercy of whatever Roger Goodell wants to do. Like, Roger Goodell now ultimately gets to decide what the penalty is, what the suspension is. If he doesn't like what she says, well, I think that's too small of a penalty. And now I want the penalty to be longer. So a lot of it is just, let's just wait and see what happens and how this ends up playing itself out. We can take you guys' phone calls on this, 913-586-7965. So we have to wait until September 30th. At least we have a date in line of when we will start to get some amount of clarity when it comes to this. But the Chiefs are going to have to wait until September 30th to figure out possibly what could happen with Rashee Rice. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Could you use a little bit of extra help in the bedroom? We all could. Blue Chew is there to help. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is that secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. The Chiefs, they're in training camp. They're getting after it. They're trying to train and get their bodies ready for the start of the season here in about a month. What if you didn't need any training to improve your performance and be at your best when it is time to perform? I'm talking about Blue Chew. Turn oh no into oh yes. And if you don't like chewing tablets, that's perfectly fine because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. They're an online prescription service. There's no awkward visits or conversations at the doctor's office, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. And if you want a great offer, free sounds good, right? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to receive your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Transform your home with the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC. Powell Exteriors KC will create the perfect custom deck or patio cover to keep you cool, comfortable, and loving life outside. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. Siding, windows, roofing, they do it all. This time of year, it's all about decks, cover, and shade. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule your free estimate today. It's the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC, Kansas City's exterior experts.
So we do a giveaway at GiveMeTheVin.com. Every month we're giving away $25,000 to one lucky person that sells us their car. Karen, you there?
I'm here. Karen Gardner of Oceanside, California is the latest winner in GiveMeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
What did you sell us?
I sold you a 95 Impala.
And what did we pay you for it?
You guys gave me 18.
18 plus 25,000 because you're the winner, Karen.
Oh my God, you're kidding. You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Got a new wreck in Shawnee, 2-car crash. 35 southbound as you approach Antioch. It is off to the left shoulder, but a lot of onlooker delay. And then 71 northbound at 75th. It is the right lane blocked by a stall. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I know that some of you are going to consider me to be a hater on this next topic. I just saw it, so this wasn't my original plan. This is just my feelings. I know some of you are going to consider me to be a hater, but I feel like there are a couple of things that I am the only person, and I really mean this, I'm the only person that stands up, hey, that's not how it happened. And I'm the only person to do this. Rob, let me ask you a question. Do you know what Brett Veach's job was before he was the general manager? Like, do you know what his job was?
I believe he was an area scout, or like he's in charge of scouting the SEC?
He was the co-director of player personnel. Now, that's an important job. Like, it's a logical step up if you are the co-director or director of player personnel for you to one day get an opportunity to be the general manager. But as a general manager, we all kind of know how the hierarchy of this thing works. The buck kind of stops with you. Now, you guys know this, that the Chiefs, they have a television show coming out called The Kingdom. ESPN got unprecedented access. They followed the Chiefs around all last season. I believe the first episode officially debuts later today. So on this, they have Brett Veach telling a story about Patrick Mahomes. This is the story that he tells. Quote, "We watched draft day weeks prior to the draft. So my daughter saw the part where Costner's character had written a name down, and I was getting ready to leave, and she hands me the card. It says, Pat, no matter what. There's nothing more special than your daughter writing that." Now, come on now. Again, I know I'm going to come off as sounding like a hater. None of us knew who Brett Veach was in March or April of 2017. He wasn't even the number 2 in command at that time. That was Chris Ballard with the Colts. how we have completely removed John Dorsey from the Pat Mahomes story is so weird to me. How have we done this? It's like we let them create an entire story around Brett Veach and Patrick Mahomes, and everybody is just signed up and went along with it. Pat, no matter what, you weren't the person that could make the decision during this time. I could understand if you were the general manager, this story would sound good. Am I the only one that sees this and hears this and thinks, wait, this sounds made up. This sounds like a fairy tale. You weren't the general manager. Now, Pat, no matter what, your daughter on this day handed you a sheet of paper. I'm sitting there looking at it. They got it framed. They got this sheet of paper framed. Come on now. I can't be the only person that sees this. How do we never hear the John Dorsey story of this? It's like they've tried to, like, Men in Black flashy thing, John Dorsey from all of this. I understand that Brett Veach has been obviously very important. He's been the general manager during the Super Bowls and during the success. Have we forgotten what John Dorsey's contribution is to all of this? Wasn't he the general manager when they drafted Patrick Mahomes? Wasn't he the one that found Travis Kelce? Didn't he take the chance on Tyreek Hill? Didn't he draft Chris Jones? We don't ever get to hear how John Dorsey was a part of this. I don't know. It just feels kind of weird to me. I don't get it. Now, I can't wait to see this part, but come on now. Pat, no matter what, I just don't believe it. It just sounds too fairy tale. That's what it sounds. It just sounds too fairy tale to me.
This and the value of the punt return by Kadarius Toney are the thing that me and you will fight against forever. And by the way, so the text line says there's a story Andy Reid tells that Brett Veach was always talking to Reid about drafting Mahomes. Yeah, that's what player directors of personnel do. They say, here's a player I like. Look at him. Do you like him? Do you like him? Do you like him? But you know what happens in the war room? Brett Veach can be pounding the table as loud as he wants. Draft this guy, draft this guy, draft this guy. If the GM said no, it wouldn't have happened. So does Veach get credit? I'll give him some. He's the scout that was demanding they took him. And since taking over as GM, he has done a phenomenal job. But on that day, John Dorsey had to then call, Brandon Beane for the Bills and make the trade and then turn the card in. Brett Veach is just in the room screaming to do it. And if John Dorsey said no, we would never know who Brett Veach is.
Yeah, I mean, the text line is saying it. Andy Reid himself has said this. It just feels to me just way too convenient to me. It does. It just feels way too convenient. This is just my opinion. No one has to agree with this. I think it is obvious. I don't think that Andy Reid and John Dorsey were on the same page. If you remember, the day that they fired John Dorsey, remember they announced an extension for Andy Reid. The same day, it was very, very symbolic that basically it was a power struggle and they had to make a choice. And they made the right decision. They chose Andy Reid over John Dorsey. And then this guy that we had never heard of before, who was a former intern for Andy Reid, they never really went outside the organization. They then picked him to be the general manager. That's fine. And it now feels like we have just created this entire story of how he's the one that found Patrick Mahomes. John Dorsey the general manager doesn't get any credit, didn't play any part in it. But he gets all the credit for Travis Kelce, he gets all the credit for all these other guys, but yet the quarterback, he doesn't get none. I'm sorry, it feels too Disney. It feels like when you watch a sports movie and you sit back and watch, like, wait, hold on, like, that's not how that happened. We left out like a major part of the story. I mean, I get it, it's for Hollywood and but that's not how the story goes. That's not how the story goes. That's just what it feels like to me. I never heard this part of the story. I'm sitting here looking. I can show you guys the picture if you want to see it. They have the sign of Pat no matter what in a kid's handwriting, and it's in a frame right next to a Patrick Mahomes autographed jersey. I never heard this before. This just sounds like a Hollywood made-up story that they've all tried to sell us, like a made-for-television movie that they have created. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm sorry. C-Dot, you're a hater, and Brett Veach we trust. I'm not telling you that Brett Veach is not a good general manager. I'm just simply saying that it just seems very convenient to me that for the greatest draft pick since Tom Brady, the general manager doesn't get any credit, and a guy that we had never talked about before, never heard of before, the most hardcore Chiefs fan had no clue who Brett Veach was. He's actually the one that made the decision. I don't fully buy it. I just don't fully believe it. I'm sorry.
The real $1 million question.
Now, really quick, I want to be clear, though. I'm not saying that Veach didn't like Mahomes.
And he's done a great job since.
Sure, he liked him. And I'm imagining it's part of a process where, yes, you're right. In the draft process, there is one scout that really, really likes somebody. Hey, I've been scouting this guy. I really like this guy. But I think it's part of a process where everybody is making suggestions, and you listen to this person, and you trust this person, you go do it. Like, do we give Reed credit for the trade? Because at some point, it's not like Mahomes fell to them in the draft. They had to make a trade to go get it. Who do we think made the phone call to make the trade? Because somebody had to go from 27 to 10. Do we think Brett Veach made that phone call? Because we've seen that video before. He wasn't the one on the phone when they made the trade. John Dorsey's the one that made the trade. That seems like a really important thing that they moved up from 27 to 10. I just want John Dorsey to get his part of the story told. That's it.
And I was going to say, it's a hypothetical. Patrick Mahomes is awesome. He's the best quarterback in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. If Mahomes wasn't good, do you think we'd be giving credit to the guy that took over with Patrick Mahomes? Let's say Patrick Mahomes turned into Mitch Trubisky. Do you think we'd be saying, oh, Brett Veach, the current GM, drafted him? Or do you think we'd straddle John Dorsey with the failure? It seems a little bit too, the puzzle pieces all fit correctly. John Dorsey deserves credit for making the call. He deserves blame. The whole Jerry Maclin situation is 1,000% the fault of John Dorsey, and that's why he's an assistant GM in Detroit now. You can't be firing players their wedding weekend via text. That's terrible, terrible, terrible. You can't manage the cap the way people do in Madden. They just turn it off. He had his flaws, but he did have to be the guy who greenlit Patrick Mahomes. That way, that same draft, everyone's favorite running back, Kareem Hunt. Does John Dorsey get credit for that one in the third round? I don't know how we do this.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, dude, we ultimately know it was all Dorsey's call. I don't know if people know that, to be completely honest with you. I honestly don't know that. I can't speak to that. I disagree, but reasonable minds are allowed to disagree. Let me play this audio for you. This is Dan Graziano. Here he is talking about the updated news with Rashee Rice and the possible suspension.
So, Laura, what usually happens in cases like this is the player with the union and the league will sort of negotiate. The league will say, here's what we have in mind for discipline, and then there'll be a conversation, and they might settle on something. In this case, those conversations took place, but they didn't reach an agreement. So what Rashee Rice effectively is saying is, I'd rather go to a hearing. The hearing officer is Sue L. Robinson. She's the independent arbitrator that was agreed to in the last CBA. She's heard one other case since she assumed this role, and it was the Deshaun Watson case in 2022. So my understanding is the hearing scheduled for September 30th because that's when it fit into her schedule. Now, if you look ahead and if you look back, in fact, to 2022, the hearing was at the end of June. Her ruling was issued on August 1st. She imposed a 6-game suspension on Deshaun Watson that the league then appealed because they wanted a longer one. And then about 2 weeks later,